Rockwell Radio.
Brothers and sisters,
Radio. Rockwell Radio.
brothers and sisters,
Radio. Rockwell Radio.
brothers and sisters,
Radio.
Yo, this is Problem 13 of Wolverine.
Radio.
I'm listening
Radio.
to DJ Rockwell. Holla!
Salute. Here we go. Episode 13. Greetings. This is DJ Rockwell, the nation's #1 DJ, and you are tuned in to that show, that broadcast, that place to be. I'm talking about the Rockwell Radio Show. Welcome. If you haven't done it already, I'm seeing some of you already have. You know what I'm about to say. Hit that share button, hit that like button, because we've got another awesome episode for y'all today. It's been a lot going on, so much to talk about. How's y'all week, man? How are y'all handling? How y'all making it through the COVID era? Y'all doing all right? It's been rough, but we still here. And we're going to be here. Matter of fact, we're here every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Tonight, we got something for y'all that's absolutely on time. As y'all know, I DJ. I was raised in hip hop. In fact, I can say I was raised on hip hop. But I was saved by the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Through that great top student of his, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. FY till I die, baby, all day. Registered member of the Nation of Islam since 1996. Struggling, growing, developing, learning. Always in the posture of a student. At the same time, I didn't let go of my hip hop. Let me say that again. D, we ain't let go of our hip hop.
No, sir.
Just because I put on that bow tie, just because I go after the people with the #1 program, The Final Call, that don't mean I let go of the culture that raised me. I didn't stop it because we have an opportunity to now tap back into that same culture that raised us. And you know what? We can use it as a tool. And that's what I'm here to do, to show you how you can use it as a tool. Because now the minister, his message is worldwide. And it can't be stopped, although they're trying. And the hip hop generation has embraced the minister wholeheartedly. While there are some that are running from him, while there are some that are turning their back on him, it's the hip hop generation that said, you know what? He belongs to us. He's ours and we're his. And today, we're going to explain why, or at least try to explain why. What is the connection between hip hop and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan? Why are they unafraid of him? Why do they come to his defense? Why do they come running when the minister calls? We're going to talk about that right here on this episode of the Rockwell Radio Show. But first, we're going to show this. Listen up.
I think real hip-hop started in the South Bronx with young black men wanting to use the art form of the spoken word in rhyme to give to young people education through that means. But the corruptors, when they saw the value of what these young men were doing, they turned it into that which glorified the worst part of our life in the ghetto, and then they made us millionaires by reflecting the worst of ourselves, so that through money we would think, and through fame we would think, that we were doing the best thing for ourselves and our people. Real hip-hop is the art of bringing people together on the basis of wisdom. Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Every one of these hip-hop artists, whether they know it or not, are leaders of youth all over the world. So that's the way I see genuine, real hip-hop culture.
That's how the minister views hip-hop. Think about that. What the purpose and power of this culture is, and why they come to his defense. Today on the show, I got some strong and serious brothers that's going to help me delve into this deeper. But first, we need you to hit that share, hit that like button, because we want to share this message with everybody who's out there that needs to know what's going on here tonight. It's the Rockwell Radio Show. We're on every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we deal with the hottest topics. And if you're watching us via YouTube, you can hit that notification button. Join us, because we're here again once a week dealing with the subjects that matter. But with no further ado, Dave C., can we get to our guest, bro?
I think we can do it, DJ Rockwell.
Let's get to our guest. All the way live from Dallas, Texas. He's a brother, an MC, a servant. He serves as the student minister of Muhammad Mosque number 48 in Dallas, Texas. And on top of that, he got bars. Please welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show, my brother and yours, Brother Shaheed Mamba. Let's go. Where you at? There you go.
Praise be to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. I had to sit back and think about, man, who is he talking about? Wow.
Welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show, bro. We're going to get into it today, bro. Inshallah, we're going to get into it today.
Inshallah.
If you're listening from Texas, that's your brother right here. He's on with us. But
what's up?
We got some more firepower. Can I bring him into the room?
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Go ahead and bring him in here.
Bring him.
All the way from Indianapolis. He is an architect of what we call NOI hip hop. This brother, I can't say enough good about him. He is an author, an entrepreneur, an artist, a go-getter, and got some of the coldest bars you ever want to hear. Please welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show, my brother, Young Khan, the Don.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, soldier.
What up with it?
Salam, Big Khan.
Come on, man. Nick of time. I just made it.
Now, let me say off the rip. Audience, hit the share button. Let's do that first. Make sure you hit the share button, because right now it's about to be some stuff on the Rockwell Radio Show tonight. Because with these two cats together, it's about to be lit. You know what? I was telling my producer, Dave C., I almost wasn't going to do a show this week because I couldn't think of anything I wanted to say. And I'm not big on getting on the mic when I don't have anything to say, because that's when stupid stuff come out. But I thought there's always something to say. With these teachings and with the mess going on in these streets with our people, there's always something of value to say. We belong to one of the greatest nations on earth, the Nation of Islam. We've got one of the greatest teachers that God has ever given man and woman. We belong to one of the most influential cultures that has ever come across the planet, hip hop. What do you get when you put all those together? You get an episode 13 of the Rockwell Radio Show.
That's right. That's right.
So, brothers, again, I thank you for responding to the call, because it was only a few days ago where the energy hit me to say, we need to talk about this. I want to start with you both. As I said in the introduction, longtime servants under the leadership of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Brother Khan, how long have you been serving under the minister, serving with this great nation of ours?
I've been blessed to be a soldier since August of 1990, so 30 years.
Praise be to Allah. How about you, Brother Shaheed?
Brother, I was born on, it was in 2004, spring of 2004, October 25th. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this little brother of y'all's been serving or trying to serve since the fall of 1996.
Wow.
Question 2. Now, how long have I been doing hip hop? Brother Khan, how long you been in the art of hip hop?
I've been in the art of hip hop since 1986.
Come on now. Brother Shaheed, how long you been rhyming?
Brother, since about 86, about 6th grade. Yeah.
When you came to the teachings, did you ever think for a moment, you know what, I'm gonna have to put hip hop down? Let's start there.
No, sir. No, sir. When I came in, I was actually on tour. Let me scoot over some so I can be in the middle. I was actually on tour doing an Arena League football tour. So the first thing that I heard is accept your own and be yourself. So all I did was just stop doing the things that was detrimental to my life, but I kept everything that I liked about my life. But I never stopped rhyming since the first day I walked in the mosque and I was putting CDs out and we was pushing CDs. I never stopped. The content started to change because I was taking on more knowledge, but that never crossed my mind to ever stop, no matter what, because I've never been one who wanted to be conventional or go with the status quo.
Brother Khan, how about you, sir?
Definitely the same thing my brother just said. I didn't feel like I had to stop rapping. My content just elevated because my knowledge elevated.
Right.
And a lot of times as MCs and artists and entertainers, you rap about what you know about.
Right.
And what you go through, you grow through. So I was just interested in conveying the message that I was getting, the truth that I was getting. I wanted to be able to cook that thing up in the pot of dope and give it that audio crack to where I could serve it to the fiends on the corner and let them know, man, there's some new dope on the block.
Come on, that news.
That's
Come
right.
on, man.
That's right.
That's what it was. So no, I didn't feel discouraged about rapping. I felt the challenge of how I could effectively convey it without sounding like a preacher or coming off corny or lame or, I wanted to make sure that the bars was lit because I knew that I had the skills as an artist. So that's the way it was from my vantage point.
Well, let's dive deeper, because as I mentioned in the outset, they've been after our minister since he stood up. Some have punked out. Some have turned back and ran away. Some have said, I can't rock with the minister like that. I'll come up on him behind closed doors when nobody's watching, but in the public. But the hip hoppers, what is it about our generation, and I want to bring something up. Let me go to my slide show real quick. I want to take a moment to get my first question from Brother Demetric Muhammad, who is the author of researchminister.com, and he is a longtime soldier and servant and a researcher for the Nation of Islam. And his website, researchminister.com, ran a great article 7 years ago. And in that article, he wrote this particular article called "Did Minister Louis Farrakhan Give Birth to Hip Hop?" Now, you all saw the opening clip I ran with, and I thought it would be a great place to start to ask the question. We all know the Honorable Louis Farrakhan served in New York as Minister of Mosque number 7 for many years, had 18 satellite mosques in that city, and was on the radio 6 times a week. This is in the mid to late 70s, at the exact time hip hop was being born. What is the connection between the two?
Well, from my vantage point, I don't think that hip hop would be the same if there were no Elijah Muhammad, if there were no Father Clarence 13X, if there were no Malcolm or the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because we, the Nation of Islam, has always provided the seeds of knowledge.
Right.
I mean, what would hip hop be without Rakim?
Come on.
Go ahead.
What would hip hop be as we know it without Big Daddy Kane?
Come on.
See, what would it be without Nas or Wu-Tang Clan?
Right.
If you take those forces out, what would it be without Africa Islam and Africa Bambaataa?
That part. Right.
See, when you get into the essence of it and the origins, you're going to find NOI sprinkled all the way through hip hop. So when you're saying hip hop, you got to say Nation of Islam. When you saying hip hop, you got to say Elijah Muhammad. Take Method Man out of hip hop and what you got?
Come on.
You wouldn't have a Wu-Tang Clan. You wouldn't have a Lakim Shabazz. You wouldn't have a Queen Latifah. And that would have forever changed the trajectory, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that was being conveyed through this thing that we call hip hop. It wouldn't even be a KRS-One. Come on now.
Right.
It wouldn't be a Public Enemy. If you took a Nation of Millions to hold us back out of the history of hip hop, what would hip hop look like?
Right.
There would be no Ice Cube as we knew him when he came with Kill It Will and the Bomb Squad. You wouldn't have any of that. Come on, man. We need to stop playing now. We got to give Farrakhan his flowers while he's living, because whether you like it or not, you can't say hip hop without NOI. That's just all it is,
brother.
That's right.
Talk to us, Brother Shaheed.
I mean, I would agree with everything that Young Khan is saying, brother. I mean, he basically laid it all out. The knowledge is what elevated. I mean, and then if you look at the enemies that come up against just what was being spoken of in those early 90s, you know, when he's saying like the KRS-Ones and the Public Enemies coming in, this is when I started listening to hip hop. This is when I got into like the Mighty Seven Posse, you know what I'm saying? In Kansas City, and just started, you know, getting into, there was a little knowledge sprinkled upon you. So now it's going more, and it's like they're trying to shift hip hop into more homosexuality, more sexualized, more this and all that. Whereas the conscious community has to stand up and stop it, and that's all starting with the Nation of Islam. No matter what, when Mass Farrar came and dropped the seeds, man, it was all sprinkled through our community. So there's no way that you can say any type of musical genre in our community since the 30s, and the nation ain't been affecting that.
Brothers, you have used this craft yourselves. You both are active artists while being servants. Brother Khan, if I'm correct, you have served as a captain. Is that right?
I've been a captain, a minister, a lieutenant, a squad leader, a special assistant, and an assistant minister. I've held every possible post with the exception of the official title of a minister, but I most certainly have been doing the work of a minister for many, many years. So I've served in every capacity, just about.
I want to shift a little bit to talk about the how can I say this? The struggle, the nothingness, the poverty that hip hop was born out of in the 70s in the Bronx, as the minister mentioned. We're talking about a culture that started with nothing. A culture that took the drums from here and the strings from here and the this from that to make a brand new music genre. I see a connection that when the minister was coming up at that same time, rebuilding the nation, he took similarly the people who were here or there, found those who were willing, found the like-minded, and he started working. And if we chart the progress in both, we see a connection. Could it be that the hip hop generation responds and respects the minister because they respect his work ethic and his struggle?
What you got, Brother Shaheed?
Absolutely. I mean, of course. I mean, you see something that's consistently speaking the truth, coming to you with love, you know, giving you guidance. You can't help but respect it. You know, any of the young brothers coming up, man, in the hood, in the ghettos, wherever they want to call them, man, they respect somebody who's always going to tell them the truth, man, and be truthful with them. That's just no matter what direction or what lane they go in. So when you greet the minister and you see the minister and he's willing to reach out and help, and not only that, he has a military structure behind him that they can respect. That's all about manhood, and they see us out in the community all the time. I mean, what do you expect? You see what I'm saying? So
come on.
And he's saying that they're fearless, but why are the hip hop generation fearless? Why are we fearless? Why are we made this way? Are we fearless because we'll talk to him in the public? You know what I'm saying? And won't try to hide, like you said in the beginning, behind closed doors.
Right.
And, you know, those are motives. But again, God got to get his word out, and it's going to get out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to get to the ones that need to hear it at the right time so they can get the right message so they can move in the right direction.
Brother Khan, what you say?
There's no question about hip hop's respect for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The internet is loaded with them testifying out of their own mouths. You can check the lyrics. 2 Chainz said, I had to sit down with Farrakhan. Busta Rhymes said Farrakhan gave me my first Quran. Come on. Ice Cube said, I met with Farrakhan and had dinner and you're asking my 5%er. Come on, man. It is loaded. Poor righteous teachers. Wherever you go. Public Enemy said Farrakhan's a prophet that I think you ought to listen to. And everybody, Damon Dash, Goody Mob, even the Great White Hope, Slim Shady, Eminem himself have sat down with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. You can't get away from that man Farrakhan. And that is what has the enemy upset and afraid, because the consciousness is coming through the music. So some wickedly wise demons took control of the music industry and tried to subvert it and send it in another direction to get us off of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because consciousness was the way to go during the golden era. If you was not, as they called it, kicking knowledge, if you was not dropping science or dropping rhymes over drums, if you wasn't coming with the wisdom, we didn't even want to hear what you had to say.
You was out of here. Come on,
man. And then the enemy manufactured NWA. Once he dropped the atom bomb of NWA, the game has not recovered since the coming of niggas with attitudes. No disrespect to Dr. Dre or Ice Cube. Even MC Ren joined the FOI. Come on now. He was out of Compton Mines. MC Ren came out of Cali, man, and said he left being a nigga for life to being a mighty FOI. And what happened to MC Ren? They took the attention off of him. One of the most brilliant lyricists in the group NWA. It was Ice Cube and it was MC Ren. But they hijacked it, like one of the commenters just said, man. They tried to take that thing over and make us think it was about something else that it wasn't. But if you pay attention, the hip hop game was all about the independent artists in the beginning. Thanks to the internet and the late Steve Jobs, the playing field is now being leveled to where you don't even need the labels. You don't even need the music industry. You can deal directly with the consumer. And now, you got a generation of people, 30, 40 years growing up under the voice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Puff Daddy didn't happen out of a vacuum.
Come on.
No, these artists didn't get, Rick Ross didn't get the idea to buy back the block. That
Right.
didn't come out of thin air. You
Right.
got Farrakhan coming through the music. You got him coming through the lyrics, but the medicine is being skillfully placed into the dog food.
That's right.
Come on, brothers.
Right. And see, he said something very interesting about how the internet is leveled and the playing field is level. You know, even our artists within our network, you know what I'm saying? We have to understand that and understand how we can work together and network together to make this thing hot.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the conscious movement, if it does come back, when it is coming back, because it's coming back, we have to control it. We talking about the nation. Members of the nation have to control it. If we're talking about something that's going to be set up new and something that's going to be set up different, if God is coming to make all things new, then we got to control it. So we got to show our unity to the public so we can gain their attention. We can make this thing happen.
I want to shift to my next question. Since we talked about the enemy just a moment ago,
Man.
that brother Young Khan Adon just referenced. This summer, we saw the enemy raise his head in the form of one DJ Vlad. And what happened to some was astonishing. And to others, like us, it was no surprise at all. We saw the hip hop generation stand up and say, hell to the no, no, no. Fix that, Vlad. Are we turning our back on you? We saw Lord Jamal turn his back. We saw others turn their back, turn off Vlad, cancel Vlad. And then we started seeing headlines like these. Then we started seeing headlines like these. These people aren't necessarily members of the nation. They're not necessarily Muslims per se. What is it that made rappers decide, no, sir, Vlad, either you fix this or we're done with you?
It goes back to what you talked about earlier. It's the respect of the minister and the consistency of the FOI in the community. It's just showing the strength. It's the same thing that happened when, some incidents happened in Dallas and, the white militias tried to march on the mosque. It's the same thing. If in any arena, if they come all out and attack us, and they're going to see who backs the minister and the FOI. And since it's going through the music, and it's going through the music one way or another, whether they'll put it on one song or another song, then they got to tap in with the minister, and it's showing how often and how much they tap in with him.
And not only that, when to disrespect the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, that's like disrespecting my father. And I don't know any child growing up in the hood, you better not ever open your mouth to say something about my mother or my father. And when you say something about the minister, a man who has worked tirelessly for over 50 years, sacrificing himself, his family, giving everything he had to make sure that we got a word to give us life, Vlad or whoever it is, man, don't open your damn mouth to say something about our leader and teacher, because we got an army that you see and an army that you don't see. You can't name another leader in the history of the hells of North America that ever called for 1 million men to show up and pay their own way on a Monday. Why do you think nearly 2 million showed up and paid their own way? And that was 25 years ago. So imagine how many have the word all down in their DNA. So Vlad with his cowardly self, and I don't care nothing about Vlad because I ain't never been on the show, and I don't need the enemy of God's approval. As long as God is with me, it don't matter who's against me. So whatever Vlad got, it don't mean nothing. Don't nobody pay attention to him like that, except those that are blind, deaf, and dumb to the knowledge of self. But any wise, self-respecting person would know that to speak against the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is to speak against me. To talk about anything against the NOI is to talk against me. So don't think you're going to get a pound from me and I'm going to support you and say, go ahead, Vlad. No, Vlad stands for vicious, lion, devil. That's what Vlad stands for. Come on, man. Hey, I'm going to call a spade, and I'm going to call it crack. Brother. That's just what it is, whether you like it or not. I'm from the old school. I don't mix up words, and I don't say what I don't mean. I don't laugh when it ain't funny, and I don't scratch where I don't itch. Vlad still can get these bars. Shout out to my main man, Cam, representing from the West Coast all day. What up, Cam?
That's right.
Brothers, you are tuned in to the Rockwell Radio Show, and my guest right now are Minister Shaheed, my brother. Out of also Indianapolis with us is my man, your man, our brother Young Khan, the Don, author, mentor, entrepreneur, and straight up bar scientist.
Yes, sir.
Brothers, I want to go back to the headlines and continue because it was so easy to pull this together. All I had to do is look at what's going on in the world around me and watch what's going. You can kind of tell what's going on with the community by listening to the music. And you can kind of see the condition of Black people. I wanted to bring this to your attention. Look at the response of Black people, and particularly the hip hop community, when the Honorable Louis Farrakhan was banned from social media. Look at this. This was the Jerusalem Post, and they ran a story talking about anti-Semite Farrakhan gets support from Snoop Dogg. And we all seen the Snoop clip by now. We know what Snoop said. He said, "Mother effer, if you ban him, ban me." We also saw in the Source magazine, the Source knew to ask, who you with? Will there be any outrage from rappers against social media's ban on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Absolutely there was. What was your response when you saw hip hop come out in force in favor of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan during the ban?
My response was, that's what's supposed to be done. You got to rep your set. You got to rep your hood. You got to rep your people. And when you talked about Snoop Dogg, I know Snoop Dogg personally. I helped to secure Snoop Dogg for years on the road. I personally was helping to teach Snoop Dogg out of the book, Closing the Gap, while sitting in the airport. We were reading why gaps develop between entertainers or leaders and their followers. I did that myself, along with Brother Aziz Muhammad and Brother Hashim Redeemed Hakeem. Man, we was out there putting that work in, the FOI. And we know that Brother Snoop, regardless of what you think about him, what you see is what you get. He's not going to act one way in private and another way in public. And that man stands on something, and he's just one. Damon Dash is another one. Hey, man, leave the minister alone. And that's the way hip hop is supposed to be. We going to ride for hours. We always talking about ride or die. I think it's time to start riding and killing. We ain't just got to ride or die now. You can die just like you can minister. Come on, man. That's what it is, man. We can't play. Hey, Brother Vaughn. We DJ Rockwell. We cannot play with these people because they ain't playing with us. Michael Jackson could not even say the word Jew me, do me, kite me. They took all his records off the shelf. Well, we don't give nobody no pass just because you act like that it's cool with the minister or you don't want to associate with him. No, we not going to associate with you. We need a protracted record. We need an extensive record showing that not just with words, but with deeds, that you support what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is doing. It just like they did with Black Lives Matter. It was only when Black people started to tear things up in the country that we seem to have gotten a little bit of attention. But when Colin Kaepernick bowed down by himself and he was castrated and ostracized, but as soon as things start going up in smoke and the buildings start going up and the businesses were ill affected, everybody could say Black Lives Matter. Then no, don't act like you just fell and bumped your head.
Right.
It's only when you hit them in their pocket. It's only when you begin to affect them economically, and we all become economic hitmen, that they will begin to sit down and bow down. It's the economic gun that we need to aim at the enemy's head today with our $1 trillion a year that we spending as Black people. Just stop spending your money with them. They'll change the tune.
Speaking about changing the tune, we are at the halfway mark. And as I said, the phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. We want to hear from you today. We want to hear your experience. Are you from the hip hop generation? Are you a witness of watching how the rappers of today have decided to embrace the Honorable Louis Farrakhan? Do you have a question? Do you have an experience? What is your experience of being in the now and watching the man of God go through what he's going through and being backed by our generation? And this is no shade. Let me be clear here. There's no shade on those who came before us.
That's
I'm
right.
only speaking from the perspective of a hip hop generation person. I'm watching now this generation wrap their arms around the minister during a time when they're going after him with both barrels. You can reach us at 404-919-7399. Call in and let us hear from you and ask our brothers a question if you like. Also, if you're in the chat room, you can correspond with us in the chat room and ask a question and be a part of the Rockwell Radio Show. And before we get on to the next half of the show, let me shout out everybody in the chat room. I see Sister Starl in the room from the final call. I see my brother Apocalypse in the room. Salute. Who else in the room? Matter of fact, if you're in the room, make some noise real quick. Shout out to my brother Nuri in the building. I see brother Juan Carlos in the house.
Come on.
I see, wow, it's mad people in the room. Brother Yusuf in the house. Our brother Hashim, Redeemed Hakeem is in the house. If you are having a ball in the chat room, get involved. We're going to move to the second half of the show. I want to show another clip. I want to show something that's going to bear witness to what we're discussing here right now on the Rockwell Radio Show as it relates to the hip hop generation that is coming to the defense of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Watch this.
I believe that you can change the reality of American life and the racism that exists, that has persisted and defiled and corrupted and destroyed American society. I believe you got the power to change it.
Linking up with Farrakhan was really dope, man. Farrakhan is a powerful person.
You was, say if you went to see the minister and you was a gangbang or whatever, after he sit down and have a conversation with you, and he's not even telling you, yo, don't do the show, don't like that. Not even that. He doesn't even talk to you like that.
Farrakhan, the minister, first of all, I just want to speak on the minister just by saying, like, he awesome, phenomenal. Like, all the plays he put together, he could have enemies that didn't shed blood against each other or did something to other people in the same room. You feel me? Talking about what's going on. So, like, anytime the minister put it together, anything together, I'm going to be all for it. And pretty much anybody in Chicago is who's trying to do something positive.
For real, that's how y'all feel? So Facebook and Instagram just banned the Minister Louis Farrakhan. I want to know for what? All he ever do was tell the truth.
So if you had the opportunity to testify to the world about 3 qualities that you have experienced and observed in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, what would be those 3 qualities and why?
Well, that's easy for me to say. I don't even got to think about it. Yo, real. That's first of all. Real. Just period. Just put an explanation point on that. Real.
You heard it right there.
That's real.
Tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show. Shout out to my brother, Student Minister Willie Muhammad of Muhammad Mosque number 46, who did a great piece with Dougie Fresh recently, and I extracted a clip that was a perfect fit to the conversation, which actually will serve as a great segue to my next question. Hip hop is founded on authenticity. Hip hop is founded on that realness. People can feel the culture. People can feel the music.
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and we, you know how we are, man. We can see through the crap. We see the foolishness. We see the BS. Brother Dougie said, yo, man, the minister, real. What is it about the Honorable Louis Farrakhan that makes them see him as real?
It's that energy, bro. If you ever been around the minister, man, it's a certain energy that he possesses. And, you know, and with his track record of telling the truth and teaching the truth and purifying men and you know, converting dope addicts and homeless men and all everything that we're supposed to do in the teachings, they see the personification of what we're saying to them, and they go meet him and they feel that type of energy because he's actually practicing what he's teaching.
Come on.
So you can feel that type of energy. I know when I was around him for the first time, that's the type of energy I felt. And I haven't felt that type of energy around any other man that I've ever met. So that's part of it. Two, when they see the minister step up and speak on some of the issues that they care about and how they speak on it with passion and how he speaks the truth to power, you know, and they see a vision of a strong man. The minister said, man, how can you be a lion if there's not one roaring teaching you how to be a lion? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's right.
So when you see something like that, man, and you're a generation that's been born with, you know, just with your mom, you know what I'm saying? We all, when no daddies around, everybody trying to sell dope or something, you know what I'm saying? Everybody getting caught up, and then you actually see what a man is like to your enemy, to the one that you know who's your natural enemy. And you don't really got to have it explained. They understand who it is. That's a beautiful feeling, man. And then you actually get to go see that man. You know what I'm saying? And shake his hand. And then you make contact with that energy source that Allah is tapping into.
Right.
Bro, that's why he said it's nothing but real, because it's unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't see us like that every day.
That's why you saw Busta Rhymes break down and cry over the thought of meeting with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's why you have seen people on one extreme do a complete 180 and go to the other side, because you could tell a tree by the fruit that it bears, and you could tell a man by his works. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have been planting the seed of truth for over 60 years, and now it's germinating in the hearts and the minds. You got babies that have grown up on his word in the music, grown up on his word, and now with the internet, they can't ban the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's too late. It's in the atmosphere. It's in the ether. It's everywhere. It's coming through all of the platforms. So to try to ban Minister Louis Farrakhan, you got to ban me. You got to ban Brother Rockwell. You got to ban Brother Shaheed. You got to ban Golden Child. You got to ban Sister Neelam. And everybody don't have on a suit and a bow tie. Everybody don't have a bean pie and a final call in their hand. No, we coming from everywhere you look. We coming from before the enemy, from behind the enemy, from the right side and from the left side. Everywhere that they look, they gonna see Farrakhan. Because he is in us and he is rising up in us. Have y'all checked out Golden Child lately, man? Y'all better stop playing. Have you been listening to Sister Neelam lately, man? Y'all better come on with it and step your game up, man. We not on that no more. Look at the pandemic that's happening. You wonder why we see the realness of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, because he is being himself, like we are taught. Accept your own and be yourself. Whatever you are. You know you're not by nature no stripper. You're not by nature no drug dealer. No, you are by nature a righteousness. That's why I have a movement, Brother Rockwell. Guess what it's called? Square life. Oh yeah, I'm looking not thug life, but square life. I'm looking for people that want some broccoli in their life. I'm looking for people that want some spring water in their system. I'm looking for people that want to see their children get an education and live until the next generation comes. That's what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is about. And when that man represents and he embodies our goals, our dreams, and aspirations, and he don't bow down, and he don't have testicles the size of raisins.
Come on.
But he is willing to stand up against this, and you're going to die anyway. You might as well die fighting. Come on, man. And that's what we see. Brother. Come on, man.
Go ahead.
I'm true to this.
Go ahead.
Number one DJ tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show. My guests are Young Khan, the Don, and my brother Shaheed. known to the hip hop world as the real Ruku. Brother, let's do this. I want to talk about, I want to connect something here. There is no question that the connection between hip hop and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is a threat. Let me show you this headline. Not long ago, just a few short years ago, the Rolling Stone ran a piece about so-called the danger of following Minister Farrakhan. And this was in response to the people backing the minister and repeating the minister's quotes. When the minister says something that they deemed anti-Semitic or divisive, and the hip hop community stood up in numbers. The sports figures stood up in numbers, and they came after them. So the Rolling Stones threw their hat in the ring and wanted to comment about how it's possibly dangerous to follow Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I want you to tell my viewers, why is the unity of our generation, of the hip hop culture, with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and his message considered a threat?
Well, just like, I mean, I can take it to back, man, they've been watching this for a long time. I'm talking about the scribe writers and the ones who are high up, because they've seen this with Mao Zedong. They've seen the cultural revolution that took place in China. You know what I'm saying? And so when you got a generation who can spit words to melodic melodies that hit frequencies in people's body and speak straight words, you have to get in between the word, as the Quran teaches, that the devil got to come in the straight path and see, and they connected to the true vine. And so that's what makes it more dangerous than anything else, because of that change that can happen, because of that combination of the spoken word and the energy coming from the melodic melodies that hit a certain frequency in a human body to change the temperature and the molecular structure of his mind.
Come on.
And that's on a high level. But that is because the nation, you look at the foundation of the nation, that we teach in separation, that we're gonna have a nation of our own, that God is gonna destroy this. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, everything that we see now is gonna be changed. And, you know, we serve the supreme God who has the knowledge for the next 15,000 years. You know what I'm saying? We don't see no end to his knowledge since we've seen the coming of mass prophet. They know all of this. You know what I'm saying? And then they see the creation of another way of us getting the word out. But who has I can say the algorithm that can put down in the Rubik's Cube to make all the colors come in so that everybody feels it without it sounding corny or watered down, like Young Conda Don said earlier. You know what I'm saying? So it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous to teach a black man to clean up. It's very dangerous to teach a pimp to start looking at women a certain way. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous to build and bold the family. This is what the hip hop generation will start speaking about if this becomes what it is. You see what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But at the same time, they control the distribution of it. They control the marketing of it. So something else has to come behind that in order to combat that. There has to be another energy of unity that they can attach themselves to and not feel corny and left out. You know what I'm saying? So the God is already pointing it to the right direction. Right. We just gotta accept it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And get it cracking.
And there is
really get dangerous.
There is danger in following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Right.
But danger for who?
Right.
It's not dangerous for the righteous. It's not dangerous for those that want freedom, justice, and equality.
Right.
The only one that is dangerous for is the liar, the thief, the murderer, the deceiver, the criminal, the crook, who have destroyed God's people. Oh yeah, you in danger now, and it's a danger that you cannot escape, because when truth comes, falsehood vanishes, and falsehood is a forever a vanishing thing.
Go ahead.
Consider yourself, you are most definitely. When has the devil not been in danger when God is on the scene?
Listen.
Yeah, it is dangerous. I'm telling you, it's dangerous. I was just looking up the word dangerous while you were talking, Brother Shaheed.
Go ahead.
The root word of danger is ownership. Now, if look at that now, the Latin. Come on now, see you got to
deep,
study.
yeah.
You can't be a dummy
Go
following
ahead.
Farrakhan.
That's
In
right.
the root meaning of the word danger is ownership.
Ownership.
Where if they
Damn,
have
that's
owned us,
right.
but now God has come to claim us as his own. Who is the original man? He's
Right.
the Asiatic black man, the
man.
maker, the owner. See,
Right.
you don't want us to own nothing. You
Right.
want a sharecropping. I just
Right.
read an article yesterday that Spotify now has decreased the royalty that comes to an artist to
Ain't that
down to
something?
$3.18
Wow.
per 1,000 streams.
Yeah.
And that out of
Wow.
the 20 million plus artists that are on Spotify, 43,000 of those artists control 90% of what is being played on Spotify. Oh yeah, you in danger. The music
going
business
down.
is in danger.
Right.
Oh yeah, the enemy of God is in
listen.
danger because the man of truth, the torchlight for America, is coming to shine on the enemies of the dark. That's why
Go
it's
ahead.
dangerous. But it
Go
ain't
ahead.
dangerous for me. It
Come
ain't
on.
dangerous for you. If you being about the right, you not
That's
in
right.
danger.
That's
You
right.
got a blessing. That's why it's
That's
called the great and dreadful
Dreadful
day.
day. Go ahead.
It's great for some, but it's dreadful for others. It's
That's
a
right.
safe place for some, but it's a great danger for others. And the
Go
only
ahead.
ones that is dangerous for is the enemy who ain't been about the right for the last 6,000 years. Well, y'all done
ahead.
got me fired up over here. Go ahead and get me started.
You are tuned in to the Rockwell Radio Show. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, because we want you to be in touch with us, because we want to be in touch with you. My guest, as we are in the home stretch of the show, are Brother Shaheed and Young Khan, the great, great, great Don. Let's continue that thought in closing as it relates to threat. As we know, and maybe the viewing audience doesn't know, on July 4th, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan delivered a lecture entitled The Criterion. Fox News was going to run, or Fox Soul rather, was going to run it live. Fox Soul, by the way, for those who don't know, is the quote unquote black or African American expression from Fox News. Once they got the word that they intended to run the Criterion, they fell down on them like a bag of bricks, and they pulled it immediately. But you know who stepped up? You want to know who stepped up?
Come on with it.
That's right.
Puff
Puffy.
Daddy.
That's right.
And what was the response? Since we're talking about threat, the response, Sean Diddy Combs promotes Louis Farrakhan's Independence Day message, in which he calls Jews Satan. What is the consequence when we have the quote unquote money people in hip hop let's be clear. Puffy put it all on the line to run the Criterion on Revolt. What does it say when now people like Puffy, when people like Russell Simmons are lining up and they quote unquote have something to lose? What does that say about who the minister is and his message?
They waking up fast, soldiers. That's what they're saying. And the enemy is taking note. You know what I'm saying? He's making a military move because it's just what it is. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he'll be the winner, either living or dead.
Come on.
Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said he'll be the winner, either living or dead. What makes them so confident about that? Where would this message find a resting place? And where would it be glad? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got to think about these things and what's going on and what's taking place as far as us in the nation and where we at in our evolution in this evolution of time of taking over they see it coming, bro. So it's all encompassing on what we talked about today, that the Nation of Islam is a threat. That's why we have the issues that we have. That's why the progression moves the way it moves. You know what I'm saying? Because we have all of these threats that we're given, and the minister is still being successful in delivering this word.
Right.
You know? And so it's not gonna stop. And so when Puffy grabs it, Busta Rhymes grabs it,
right.
You know, Shaquille O'Neal grabs it.
That's
know,
right.
All of them who can generate Rick Ross can grab it, and then they start buying land. You see what they're doing with their money now. that it's a total different mind shift that's going on. That Black Wall Street is rising again. You know, so our job is really to eradicate the European mindset. So we don't have a bunch of black people walking around here thinking they still white. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually it's going to be an all black planet.
That's right.
Of a black planet.
I think that it indicates that the fat lady is singing.
Right.
I think that it indicates that the time is up. I think that it indicates that it's the fourth quarter with no timeouts, and I think the enemy is down by 7. No more timeouts. I think he knows that his end is in sight. As the scripture says, the devil is come down having great wrath because he knows that he has but a short time to live. So he wants to trick all that he can. He wants to bring all that he knows is latching on, trying to escape the bottomless pit, like Lazarus going away from the rich man. He needs something to put on his tongue to say, help me out, man. I'm dying over here. But it's too late. We got a vaccine today. You want a real vaccine to take? You better take the vaccine of truth that is coming from the mouth of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. You better take that injection that's going to get your mind right. You better get that injection coming out of the mouth of people like Brother Nuri Muhammad. You got to get that injection coming from out of the mouth of people like Dr. Wesley Muhammad. See, it's too late because if you come within 6 feet of us and we breathe on you, guess what? Mask or no mask, man, you're going to be contaminated with the truth, and now it's going to start taking over your body. You're going to start coming alive. You're going to want to do for yourself and look out for your family. That's why it's a threat. See, and they're trying to do everything they can for that type of virus, but it's the virus of truth. See, there is no defense mechanism. And every time they try to come up with something to stop it, guess what? It mutates. It changes form. It goes over here. It's moving faster than the speed of sound, faster than the speed of light. And there is no banning the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Like Jesus say, you can't ban the snowman. No, who's controlling the snow? You can't ban the snowman. Knock it off. That's what Satan needed. Just go on and bow down.
Now, I got a surprise for you. Come on. Speaking of mutate and change.
Come on.
When we accepted this teaching, we didn't leave the hip hop culture. We didn't abandon our way of being cool or hip hop. We brought it along with us. And I watched you all do it. And you all came out with this.
Come on with it, man.
Oh, that's you. Got you.
Come on with it. Deep in these streets.
I see you. Yes, sir.
Tell us the genesis of the ex-niggas.
Oh, that's a good one right there. You see Brother Aziz with the gold suit on and me as the captain standing up there in the front. And way in the back in a little beige suit on the top. You see a brother off in the corner. That's Brother Nuri Muhammad. Oh, yeah, he was one of the soldiers in the mosque, man. And so when I joined the Nation of Islam and I did my rap called Supreme Wisdom that I recently spoke and spit on Brother Ben X's show, on the Brother Ben X podcast, because, you know, I'm one of his top students right now in digital real estate. It's too late, man. So, hey, Brother Rockwell, I dropped the bars from 30 years ago. That was the first rap that I wrote after I joined the Nation of Islam. And when Brother Aziz, who was formerly known as Minister James 2X, heard those bars, him being a former player for the New York Giants in the NFL, he heard those bars and he said, quote, "That's the baddest rap I ever heard since the coming of Public Enemy." And he said, "Brother Damon, I don't know the music industry. I don't know about it, but if you would allow me," he said, "because all of my life I have been on championship teams, all the way from playing pee-wee football all the way up to the NFL. He said, if you would trust me as your big brother and your minister and allow me to learn the music business while you continue to get the knowledge, the wisdom, the education, and put it inside those bars, then I can guarantee you that we will be successful." So we needed a name. And I said, and I thought about it. I said, well, nigga is a household name already all over the world. We've been taught and we use that term loosely and made it a term of endearment, even though it was a badge of dishonor. We took and made it something to be proud of. Tupac said it was never ignorant getting goals accomplished. So we said, well, how about we make it X niggas, because X is a popular term in the conscious community and nigga is one of the most popular terms in the dead community. So when you put them both together, you'll be able to reach both sides. And so we started with the first song that said, I'm not a nigga with an X, I'm an X nigga. And I understand that the X propaganda is getting bigger. You wear a letter and you don't know what it stands for. So let me break it down about God's plan for the black man and the black woman of America. Teaching Islam coming straight from the messenger. And I just went on for the next 6.5, 7 minutes.
Let me kill the bear for a minute. Let me kill the bear for a minute. Since we're at the end of the show, and you're already in the spirit,
come on.
Can you go ahead and bless the Rockwell Radio Show with some of those classic miracle balls that you do, my brother?
Oh,
this
man.
To take us out of here.
Hey, so this was the first rap I wrote, y'all. After I joined, this is the first thing we recorded. If I don't get it all the way now, y'all don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head because I'm on the spot with it. But it was something like this.
Ahead, bro.
I'm not a nigga with an X, I'm an X nigga. And I understand that the X propaganda is getting bigger. You wear a letter and you don't know what it stands for. So let me break it down about God's plan for the black man and the black woman of America. Teaching Islam coming straight from the messenger. X represents the unknown. And it shows that you've accepted your own way of life as a righteous black man. I'm going to stop right there on it. I'm going to stop right there because it's too much, but I got it. Hey, if y'all want it, I got the original. All you got to do is text my number, 219-200-9949, and you can get the whole selection, man. As we said, it was a high-tech lynching. See, that's what they did to Colin Kaepernick. That was a high-tech lynching. High-tech lynchings are still going on right to this very day. They tried to give Nick Cannon a high-tech lynching, but we stand with Nick Cannon, man. The man He did the best that he could. Why wouldn't they bring us on to the show? Yeah, Vlad, bring one of the FOI on the show. Don't be telling us you're going to bring Farrakhan. You ain't even strong enough to deal with the minister. You can't handle the least FOI. MGT probably a smash DJ Vlad. Come on, man. You can't even handle the Vanguard in the MGT. One of the junior FOI crushed DJ Vlad, man. I don't know. I just thought about Vlad. I just wanted to let him know. Hey, bring a baby FOI on your show.
Matter of fact, I'm use it again because when it all popped out, I said this. I leaned forward, I looked to the mic and I said, Vlad, you sitting in my spot and I'm coming for it.
Come on,
You're tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show. We've reached the end of our broadcast. I want to thank our guests, my brothers, the talented, the terrific, the absolutely outstanding, the servants, the soldiers, the warriors for Christ, my brother Shaheed Muhammad out of Dallas, Texas. I want to thank my brother, my soldier, my warrior on the battlefield for Christ every day, my brother, Young Khan the Don.
Well, you got me ready to spit some more bars up here.
Please tell the following audience where they can find you on social media.
You can catch me at Young Khan the Don on all platforms. Young Khan the Don, YOUNGKHANTHADON. Young Khan the Don on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Boy, you got me ready to spit some more bars up here, Rockwell. I'm ready now.
Come on, warrior. How about you, brother Shaheed? Where can they find you?
You can catch me at therealruku.com, or you can catch me on Instagram at therealruku, RUKU, and on Facebook you can catch me at therealruku. Twitter you can catch me at Al Shaheed.
Brothers, I thank you once again. You made it through another episode of the Rockwell Radio Show. Next week, Big Dave, do me a favor, Dave C. Hand me that book. That book. It should be right there in that case. You see it? Next week on the Rockwell Radio Show, we'll be talking to our brother Cam. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. We'll be talking to Cam next week about his book.
Cam.
Praise be to
Be
Allah.
right here next week on the Rockwell Radio Show. Brothers, love y'all. See you next week. This is
Hey, you
DJ
too, Black man.
Rockwell signing out. We out of here.
Yiddy.
Rockwell Radio.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters.
Radio. Rockwell Radio.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters.
Radio. Rockwell Radio.
Brothers and sisters,
Radio.
Yo, this is Problem 13 of Wolverine.
Radio.
I'm listening
Radio.
to DJ Rockwell. Holla!